I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that we would all enjoy being able to climb walls infinitely in Apex without having to play Revenant. Because let's be honest, who really wants the public shame that comes alongside being a Rev main? Well, if you're one of the people who wants all the benefits of his wall climbing ability without actually have to play him, you're in luck. So hello everyone, I'm your hostess with the mostest, 8-Second Gaming, and in today's video I'm going to be breaking down a brand new movement tech that has just come out that's allowing players to climb as long as they want. And while this video will make climbing walls easier, if you're looking to climb the ranks just as easy, then you guys need to check out the GameLeap website, because over there we have the best, most highly informative guides you will ever find, period. You want to play certain characters? We have legend guides. You want to know how to play specific scenarios? We have VOD reviews breaking them down. Or maybe you want to play exactly how your favorite streamer does. Well, we have videos going over how they play so you can take all of their tricks. So if you're looking to get better at Apex, click the link in the description, pick yourself up a membership, or I'll eat your goldfish. Okay, but now what is this new technique? Well, to start things off, check out this clip from RPR. Now, this clip did come out 5 months ago, and a lot of people have seen it, but most thought it was just kind of a one-off thing. But just recently, the Apex rollout community, and most notably Movement God Moki Sniper, have been working on reverse engineering that clip to figure out the climb and just how it's done. They have discovered that at the end of the climb, when your character does that little hop up or lurch, if you spam jump, your character will grab onto the wall once again and reset the climbing animation. That will then allow you to do the climb up once again and repeat the whole process over and over. If you are able to bind jump to a scroll wheel, then it does make doing it a little bit easier, but if you just spam jump, it does the trick as well, and it's actually what RPR did in the original clip, so controller players can do this also. But there's actually a little bit more that goes into this climb. You're only able to do it in certain areas where you're in between two surfaces. In RPR's clip, you can see that he's actually right beside a wall 90 degrees to his right. And all of the clips of people recreating this in the firing range, they are stuck in a corner with a wall to their left. Now, Moki did do some pretty extensive testing and found out that you pretty much have to have that corner next to you in order to make this work. So you won't see people just climbing up walls in the middle of nowhere. There has to be something next to them. So I guess that means that Rev mains, you still have one up on people in the climbing department, but that's about it. Because there are a ton of spots on every single map that have areas with corners that people will be able to abuse this. Like for example, the wall outside artillery on Kings Canyon. A lot of circles end there, and before you had to be a movement character to get up there or take the balloon and fly there, but now you can just climb. Or even some of the zipline buildings on World's Edge. A lot of people like to sit on the roof and there's no real good way to push them, but now you'll be able to climb up on top of them and catch people that are camping the roof off guard. And I'm sure that as this tech gets more and more traction from players and people start implementing it in actual games, we will see a ton of new spots being used. But on the flip side, we also may see it removed pretty soon. Now, RPR's clip did come out 5 months ago, and it didn't really change anything in the game up until now, because in those 5 months, players didn't know how to replicate the climb. They were just testing it in the firing range, but now that we actually know how to do it consistently, a lot of players will be using it in game. But I'm expecting Respawn to be keeping a very close eye on this tech, because console players and even a lot of PC players are not going to be able to do this, like at all. One of the Apex rollout members, Wido, found out that this tech only starts working at 190 FPS and above. Now, if you know anything about console, you'll know that they are locked at 60 FPS for the most part. The next gen consoles like the PlayStation 5 can go higher, but I've also heard that there can be some issues for players that go above the 60 frames because there's no next gen support. But I also play on PC and don't have a PS5, so I don't know anything about that. But even then, that still only leaves them at 120, nowhere near the 190. And on top of that, a lot of the PC community is at 144 frames and lower. Like my old PC used to drop to 60 FPS in fights if I was streaming. So the vast vast majority of the Apex community will not be able to do this, and we all know how Respawn doesn't like it when a movement ability comes out that only certain players are able to do. So I'm not 100% sure how long of a shelf life this movement technique will have in the game. If you are able to reach that 190 FPS benchmark, it is probably worth learning. You'll definitely have a lot of situations in game that you'll be able to abuse this and catch a lot of players off guard because no one expects it to happen. If I had to guess, this is probably going to be on the same level of super gliding, where in fights it can be extremely useful, but only a certain amount of players can replicate it in a fight in the heat of battle, so not a lot of people will be expecting it. And because nobody really does it, no one will really understand how to play against it, so people will be positioning in certain areas that you'll be able to just come up behind them. So if you're able to hit that 190 or above, because actually the higher FPS you have, the easier it is. If you're able to hit 300, then you can actually stick to walls in between the climbs. Then this is 100% worth learning, and you should take the time in the firing range to figure it out and get consistent with it. There are a few different decent spots to work on this, but the best is on the tall platform to the right side of the firing range with the big vertical zip line. You can play around on the pillars that go all the way up and work on getting this down consistently. And once you're able to play around a little bit, you will start to understand the way that the climb works, and then you'll be able to start bringing this into the actual game and testing it out there. Now, this technique is interesting enough that I'm actually considering taking off my FPS cap and playing around with it more myself. I want to play around with it a little bit more and test the limitations of it and see what kind of plays I can make in game. And who knows, I might actually be able to hit some cool clips with it. But now I want to ask you guys, the community, what you think about this. Do you think that a technique like this should be kept in game because only so few people can do it, or should Respawn figure out a way to take this out of the game? Do keep in mind though that it's possible that the only reason people are able to do this is because of Revenant's passive being in the game files. Remember, last season hackers were able to use the files for the Fnatic dual wield pistols to get a Kimbo wingman. So who knows even if they could take it out, because I'm sure we all know how Respawn loves to unintentionally break characters' abilities. Lobus bracelet. Now obviously that's not an excuse that I'm giving Respawn, it's just something to think about. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. And I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and learned something new. If you did and you're looking to stay up to date with the latest and greatest Apex Legends tips, tricks, and news, don't forget to smash that like and subscribe button. Thank you guys all for watching. Once again, I'm 8 Second Gaming, and I will see you guys in the next one.